Hello everyone. Today AKT Memorial is back with a pristine video on ratio and proportion. Coming to the solved problems. One is if 10% of x is equal to 20% of y, then find x is to y. Now the question is 10% of x, 10%, so 10% is actually 10 by 100. So 10% of x of means a multiplication. So 10 by 100 into x is equal to 20% of y is equal to. So we have an equal to sign. And 20% of y is actually 20 by 100 into y. Now on calculating we see that x by 10 is equal to y by 5. So what is actually x by y is 10 by 5, which is 2 by 1 on cancellation with a 5. Now we are to find x is to y. X is to y is nothing but the fraction x by y. So x is to y is actually x by y. So since we have found out x by y here, we know that x is to y is 2 is to 1. X is to y is 2 is to 1. So we are done with the first problem. The second. A man spends rupees 500 in buying 12 tables and chairs. The cost of one table is rupees 50 and that of one chair is rupees 40. Then what is the ratio of numbers of chairs and tables purchased? Now, what does the problem actually say? The problem says that suppose a man buys 12 tables and chairs. So, what is the total number of chairs and tables that the man has bought? Is 12. And the cost price of 12 tables and chairs is actually rupees 500. Now it is said that the cost of one table costs rupees 50 and that one chair costs rupees 40. Then how many chairs and tables are purchased by that man? Okay, so first we will assume that the total number of tables purchased by the man be x. Now since the total number of tables and chairs purchased is 12, now if I assume that the total number of tables is x, then the total number of chairs is actually 12 minus x. Hence we have this. Now according to the problem, it is said that one table costs rupees 50. So x tables will cost actually 50 into x. And one chair costs rupees 40. So 12 minus x chairs will cost 12 minus x into 40. Now what is the total cost price of the man in buying 12 tables and chairs? It is 500. So according to the problem, we have this equation. That is 50x, which is the cost price of the chairs, and 40 into 12 minus x, which is the cost price of the chairs, and the sum of both the cost prices is equal to 500. Okay. Now on solving, we get that x is equal to 2. So the total number of tables purchased is equal to 2. So the total number of chairs purchased would be 12 minus 2, which is equal to 10. Okay. Now what is required? The required is the ratio of chairs is to tables. So total number of chairs is 10 and total number of tables is 2. So the ratio is 10 is to 2. So we have 10 is to 2, which is on simplifying is 5 is to 1, because 10 is to 2. So 10 by 2 is equal to, on cancelling with the 2, it's 1 and a 5. So 5 by 1. So the ratio of chairs and tables is actually 5 is to 1. 5 is to 1. Okay. Now the third question. If 7 is to x is equal to 17.5 is to 22.5, then find the value of x. Now we will write this in a simplified form. So 7 is to x is actually 7 by x. and equal to 17.5 is to 22.5 is actually 17.5 by 22.5. Now on cross multiplying this with this, we have 7 into 22.5 is equal to, cross multiplying, so this will multiply by this, so x into 17.5. So what is the value of x? X is actually 7 into 22.5 by 17.5. Okay. Here we can see that on simplifying this, we get that x is equal to 9. Fine. Number 4. If 20% of p plus q is equal to 50% of p minus q, then find p is to q. Now we are given that p plus q is given to us and p minus q is given to us. We are to find p is to q. Okay. Now 20% of p plus q is equal to 20 by 100 into p plus q, and 50% of p minus q is equal to 50 by 100 into p minus q. Done. Now on simplifying this, we have p plus q by 5 is equal to p minus q by 2. Why is it so? Because I have 20 by 100 p plus q is equal to 50 by 100 p minus q. So 100 cancels out, 0 cancels out, and 2p plus q is equal to 5p minus q. 0 cancels out. I mean to say that we are cancelling it with a 10. So from here we can say that p plus q by taking this 5 here and p minus q by 2. Hence we have this. Okay. Now this is on cross multiplying, we can say that 2 into p plus q is equal to 5 into p minus q. So 5 into p minus q. Now taking all p's to the left and all q's to the right, we have 3p is equal to 7q. So p by q is equal to 7 by 3. So p is to q is equal to 7 by 3. Okay. Done. Number 5. If 30% of A is 0.25 and B is 1 by 5 of C, okay, then find A is to B is to C. Okay. 30% of A is equal to 2.5 of B is equal to 1 by 5 of C. Then we are to find A is to B is to C. So 30% of A is equal to 30 by 100 into A. 2.5 to 0.25 can be written as 25 by, this point is 1, and how many non-zero digits are there after a decimal point is 2. So 2 zeros. So 25 by 100. So 25 by 100b is equal to 1 by 5 of C. Now on simplifying, we can say that we have 3a by 10 is equal to b by 4 is equal to c by 5 is equal to some non-zero k, say, suppose. So we are not taking this. We are taking the first term and the last term. So we have 3a by 10 is equal to k. So we can say that a is equal to 10 into k, 10k by 3. Okay. Similarly, we can say that on taking the terms this and this. So b by 4 is equal to k. So b is equal to 4k. And c by 5 is equal to k. So c is equal to 5k. We get here. Now a is to b is to c. Why are we finding that? Because we are supposed to find a is to b is to c. So a is to b is to c is 10k by 3 is to 4k is to 5k. So the k cancels out. We are left with 10 by 3 is to 4 is to 5. Now multiplying this whole thing with a 3, we have 10 is to 4 3s are 12 is to 5 3s are 15. Hence, here is the required proportion. Okay. Number 6. If 2x square minus 7xy plus 3y square is equal to 0, that is, we are given an equation, then we are to find the value of x is to y. Okay. What we will do is we will actually simplify this equation and find the values of x and y. But we can see that this is a quadratic equation with two variables. So we know that if we have a quadratic equation with two variables, in order to find the values of the two variables, we need at least two equations. But we have one equation. So let's see how to solve it. We are writing the given equation. Okay. Now writing minus 7xy as minus 6xy minus xy. Okay. Now taking 2x common from the first two terms. So we are left with 2x is taken common. So from the first term we are left with an x. And from the second term we are left with a 3y. So 2x is into x minus 3y. Okay. Taking minus y common from the last two terms, we can say that if minus y is taken common, then we are left with an x, and here is a 3, and since this is a y square, so we are left with a y on taking common a y. So we can say that x minus 3y can be taken common from these two terms. So taking x minus 3y common, we are left with 2x minus y. So 2x minus y is equal to 0. Now either this whole term is equal to 0 or this term is equal to 0. If the first term is equal to 0, then we have x minus 3y is equal to 0, which implies x is equal to 3y. Okay. Now from here, what can we say? That if we take x by y, if we divide with a y on both sides, we are left with 3 by 1. So from here we can say that x is to y is equal to 3 is to 1. Right? Now from the second term, it is said that 2x minus y is equal to 0. On simplifying, we have 2x is equal to y. Taking the y to the right hand side. Okay. Now taking x by y. So taking x by y. So 2 is remained here and a 1 is remained here when I divide with a y. So we are left with 1 by 2. Therefore we can say that x is to y is equal to, 1 is to 2. Hence we get the ratios of x and y. Thank you.